what exactly is data science and what is this artificial intelligence everyone is talking about these days?
Yep. To answer that question, Nikhil, I'll just take you simply to very basic questions, which at some point of time in our lives would come into your mind, right? And these are very real world problems. Let's say there is an international bank like Bank of America, Citibank, HDFC, ICICI. CEO of that bank is focusing on targeting some sales targets for 2025, 5 years from now. How can that person decide those targets? What would be the decision factor? Or, there is a global textile company. They want to set up their production target, daily production target, and they want to increase it by some percent. How do they decide on that percent? Should it be 5%? Should it be 10%, 7%, 7.7%? What is it? How do they decide what should be that final number to make that decision, right? Or Netflix. Everyone watches Netflix nowadays. How does it know that what are you going to watch next once you completed a series or a movie, right? What you would like to watch? How do they know it? What kind of analysis goes behind it to make that decision that these are the number of films you might watch or might like after you have watched this? Or very simple, everyone got the face lock on their phone. How does your phone know that it's really you and no one else before it unlocks it for you? So all of these are the real world scenarios where data science applies. It works on the numbers, it works on the lot of data sets to make these decisions, to reduce your operational inefficiencies, to recognize your pattern, daily pattern, what you do from the moment you sleep, from the moment you wake up, and then go back to sleep. Everything is dependent on a lot of numbers you are generating through your phone, through your laptop, through your computer, whatever you're doing at your industry, at your company, at your business, work, home. Everything is linked together through data to power one or any other decision, and that is all what data science is. Does that make sense, Nikhil?
Yeah, it absolutely does. So I have a question. Like as you mentioned that if we need to estimate the sales target and so basically like there are too many industries or local stores which are into this business for a very long time. So don't you think they already have an idea about what are gonna be their sales for a particular season? So, like, what exactly is the role of data science here? Is it really relevant into this field?
Yeah, I'll give you one simple example. Consider any kirana store at the corner of your street, right? He knows that what my sales is going to be in coming Diwali season or coming Holi season, in summers, in wedding season, in winters, and he would keep up with the stock accordingly. मेरे को 5 किलो घी ज्यादा चाहिए, मेरे को 10 किलो चावल कम चाहिए, मेरे को गेहूं ज्यादा चाहिए, आटा कम चाहिए, whatever, right? He would know for his own store. But if you come to Reliance Fresh or Big Bazaar, do you think that they have thousands of stores? Do you think that decision of stock keeping can be made manually, season to season, and efficiently? You know, I don't think so. So that's where we apply the automation of this word data science. Data science is nothing, playing with data. If you look at this chart, this says nothing. This part is basically what happened in past. We work on mathematical side of data, and then we forecast for next year, next 2 year, 5 years. When I say forecast, we are trying to predict what are the numbers going to be dependent on history. What was your pattern or any given behavior in history? In this example, let's say what happened at your 1,000 stores across India depending on their region, depending on their season, depending on their location, what happened at that particular store in last 2-3 years, we are going to predict next 1 year, and also efficiently. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. This was very detailed example, and it really solved my doubt. So I have a question a following question, follow-up question, basically on the same thing. So could you give us some more real world example where data science field is used?
Sure. So before we go there, I would also like to explain in detail why are we moving towards numbers when I talk about the predictions and all. So on the left side, which you see, is the human intelligence. How does a human learn? The time a person is born, it learns from its experiences, its life's learning over the school, in college, at the very beginning of its career, failure, successes. Then he knows that this is what I should do, this is what I should not do, and then becomes efficient at whatever they do, right? Eventually.
ये है वो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का चल रहा है इधर
Uh,
हाँ
to participants, I would like to request, please kindly keep yourself on mute.
Thank you. Yeah, so human mind trains itself over the time. You would know that what you were in college 10 years back, you are better than that now. You know what should I not do, right? So that's training we do for our mind, but we just got one mind. How about replicating that human mind into a machine? That's what we call a computer, right? Multiply that one human mind by 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000 times, and that's where we call artificial intelligence. Now, that artificial intelligence, the computer mind, is learning from 7 billion people across world, their lives learning, their failures, their successes, and not and time is not getting multiplied. It doesn't mean that if we learn something in 1 year, computer is going to learn the same thing in 1 year. No, it's going to learn that thing within 10 seconds or 5 seconds, and that time is reducing. Earlier, it used to take longer time, but now that time is reducing. So that's where power comes. Conversion of one human mind to billions of computer minds. That's why we call it artificial intelligence. And the entire field of this artificial intelligence is built on data science. Data. Anything you talk about is data. So to your next question, Nikhil, what kind of data are we talking about? If I have put simple examples from your day-to-day life. You have a Fitbit, you have a smart Apple smartwatch on your wrist, or any app in your mobile which detects the movement. It calculates how many steps are you taking. That's one data. It calculates your heartbeat. That's another data. It calculates your direction, compass. That's another data. If you're running, if you're cycling, if you're walking, it knows. It is able to detect that. Based on that data, your device is generating. You have seen Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, anything. Once you watch a particular kind of video, it would recommend another similar video for you, because it knows that kind of behavior you are applying in your life. You are watching, let's say, Narendra Modi's video, you are watching, let's say, Shah Rukh Khan's video. It knows that you like Shah Rukh Khan, and that's why it is going to recommend similar video where Shah Rukh Khan is. So what is it? It's recording what you are doing and then recording over and over every second. That data is being stored and analyzed for your behavior. Google search, multiple times when we try to type something and then it auto completes, right? How does it know that you are going to ask that question? Because it knows in your region, in your city, or in your country, this question is asked on this topic. It already knows that because it's recording all of that data. Social networks, abuses, some of the posts are detected automatically, which are offensive to people and blocked. There is no one sitting manually over there and identifying, okay, this post is not correct for anyone or it's offensive, let's block it. No, it's all automated. They know based on the report which you put on some post that no, this is offensive. It records that, and if there is another similar post, it's going to block it automatically after that. And then we know Google Maps. It exactly knows if you are going to reach to your destination in 21 minutes. How does it know? Because there are so many other people going from your point to that point, destination A to destination B, your railway station to your home, your airport to your home. There are so many people going to the same location, and it's recording that data every second, every day from last 20 years. So that's training happening for computer minds, which is called artificial intelligence. Weather forecast, we have been seeing this our childhood. That data that we know what happens in last 100 years, depending on that, we know that, okay, summers are going to start in probably April end for this region. Mumbai is going to be humid in monsoons or later or before that. Kerala is not going to observe any winters. These are very high level predictions, but then there are very specific predictions as well, depending on your location, depending on your region. If you are in coastal area, if you are in tropical region, if you are in a mountain. So we analyze that data, we see what happened in last 120, whatever data we have, and then based on that, we predict the future. Medical science. What happens in medical science is now we are able to detect the cancer very early, just based on MRI images. We are, and doctors now do not need to look at your entire report. The computer tells them that, hey, these results, these test results of this person are very similar to that another person you diagnosed 6 months back. You can apply the same diagnosis, you can apply the same medical science here, which you applied for that person. So they don't need to go through the same process again and again and again, because we are humans, we are limited. We do not remember, or any other doctor might have done the same thing. It would just recommend that solution to him. Saves a lot of time, right? Algorithmic trading, stock market. We always listen people that, hey, 2008 recession happened. These were the same situations when 2008 recession happened. So probably it's going to repeat it now. Or 2016 had the same situation for that particular company. It might be Reliance, it might be Tata, TCS, Infosys, anything, but same situation happened. What does it mean to have same situation? It means that their reports were same, their profits were same, their losses were same, their balance sheet was looking exactly what we have now. So that's the data we are comparing when we say the situation was same. And then we compare other data, and then we compare more data, because we have lot many data now. And based on that, we decide, okay, what is going to happen next. That gives us the capability of predicting in future. Self-driven cars, Tesla is creating now, or any other, the Audi is working on self-driven cars. How are they going to work? They are going to put a lot of sensors on that car, and that sensor, thousands of sensors are going to generate thousands of data points every time. They are going to detect if there is a car in front, in back, in left, right, if there is a yellow line which you are not supposed to cross, if there is a divider. Cameras are detecting everything. That is all getting recorded in form of data. And then they know they are training these cars from last 5-7 years for different situations. कि अगर सामने कार आ गई तो you have to stop. If there is anything else, any objection, any object in front of you, you have to stop or slow down or do this, do that. All set of instructions. It's just that we do not need to do it manually now. Computer knows it already based on the training we gave these cars over the years. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Nikhil.
That's really great to know. And it seems like AI and data science is gonna be, or rather, it has already become a very important part of our life. But
Yeah.
where was it like 10 years back, and why is there a very huge surge into the demand and the applications of data science now?
So that's a good question. I would say data science has been there since ages, centuries. It was just in form of human memory instead of computer memory. If you remember, many of the members who are listening today would be familiar with Bahi Khata. What was that? Ledgers, right? That was some form of data, transactions. How many transactions did one particular kirana store had, or one particular business owner had? Everything was recorded in those Bahi Khatas, but that was data as well. And they, based on those Bahi Khatas, they used to do their own analysis. They used to come up with their own forecast. So that is also data science. But if you combine that with statistics and some of the mathematical formulas, you would be able to leverage that data even more and do some predictions which are accurate than your simple experiences. But now what happened in last 10 years is that you the is power storage, the storage of data has grown. We are able to store, if you remember 50 years back, IBM launched one floppy disk for just 5 MB in that big device. Now you can store TBs, GPs, zillions of data in very small device. So memory has gone cheap, and that's the reason we see a surge of data everywhere. This chart which you look at, it tells us that 90%, 80%, 90% of data was generated in last 2 years, and this is from 2017. We have even grown now. So it means that of the date of the entire data we have in world, for every person, every computer, 90% of that data was generated in just like last 2 years. Because we have cheap memory, we are able to store a lot of that data. Your camera photos, your texts, your WhatsApp chats, your Facebook feed, everything you do on Facebook, like, dislike, comment, is getting recorded. Imagine how much of that data is there which you can leverage to identify the patterns. What can happen if that person clicks on something? What does it mean? It's very similar to our society. When we say, no, that person did something, and then you instantly have some judgment in your mind that if that person scolded someone or if that person shouted, you already know that, okay, this person is probably angry. How do you know? Based on your memory, based on your training. And that's how computer knows as well, that if you're commenting something offensive or aggressive, you are in a aggressive mode, and then it would do some recommended actions based on it. It would probably show you some videos which would calm you down, or it would probably show you some videos which would alleviate your aggression, depending on the platform you use. But they are leveraging the data which you are providing to them, right? Exists everywhere, every company. I'm going to give you some examples. Companies like P&G or Nike, manufacturing companies like Tata Steel, Reliance, IT companies, social networks, as I just explained, Facebook, election campaigns, BJP, IT cell, which you talk about. All of all of that is going. All of that is working on the data we are providing to BJP IT cell. We are chatting, we are talking, we are commenting on Facebook, social media in favor of BJP, in opposite of BJP. They know, and based on that, they are generating their campaigns. Chai Pe Charcha was a very successful campaign in 2014 based on the data we gave them. They knew that we loved Narendra Modi's Chai Wala symbol, and that's why they came up with this Chai Pe Charcha. There was a lot of data analysis went behind it, at least 6 months of analysis to come up with that tagline. And it hit right spot, right? Everyone loved it because chai was already on everyone's mind and they knew it. And that's the leverage of data BJP took for in 2014 and 2019 as well. And not just one vertical, every vertical of every business. If you know some of the examples here, every company realizes that their operations, their marketing, their sales, everywhere there is so much of data they can leverage, produce use cases based on it. What kind of marketing bank should do for a city like Delhi? It would be different because Delhi people's behavior is different than Mumbai people or Chennai people or Kolkata people. What kind of production target we should set up in operations, depending on our plant's location, what kind of moisture they have, what kind of weather they have, things like that. So data is really at the core of everything now. If you think that data is probably not important, you are wrong in today's world. Data is everything. Every second of your life is linked with some kind of data, which is getting recorded. So, yep.
Okay, so that was really like very punctiliously explained by you that why data science is important and why we have seen this surge in the data science. So next question which I have is if somebody wants to build a career in data science, then what should he pursue in order to become a data scientist or a data engineer or something related to the same field?
Sure. So this is kind of a technical slide, but I'll quickly explain the roles which you can have if you know the data science. If you see on the top right side, there are some roles with government, public policy making, economical researches, mathematical researches. How does that happen? They collect a lot of data, publicly available data. They do their researches, census or population counting. That is a big, humongous data we have, and every other data which might be there. So the government basically employs contractors who would collect that data to create some public policies. Or on the right bottom side, if you are able to learn artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning are very technical words out there, but if you are able to learn all of that, you could get jobs in Google, Facebook, or in startup product companies or consulting companies who leverage this kind of side of data science, or business strategies. You can work with the decision makers of a company, CEO's office, who needs to make decisions every day, every time, every month, every quarter. What you can do is help them out with your data and tell them that, hey, if you take this decision, this is how you are going to benefit. If you take this decision, this is what kind of loss we can have. But decision is always powered by data, and you can be that power behind making that decision. So it's very, very important role when I say what data science can do. A data scientist, a business strategical person can do a lot of things with that data to improve the business, the growth of that business. Everything is dependent on that. Or you can go in very specific roles, quality analytics, the operational optimization which we keep talking about, or any company's R&D department, innovation and growth, any product company. All of that is you can learn about it and build your career in very specific roles in that side. So as I said earlier, majorly you can divide data science in these 4 or 5 areas, and you can choose to be in one of these fields, but how to reach there, right? I'll talk about that later. But and I think this slide would make more sense for people who have engineering background or economics background. Data science is at the conjuncture of statistics, economics, mathematics on one side, domain knowledge on other side, someone who leads the sales or operations in one company. They know what kind of data would be relevant for them. I mean, there is going to be a lot of data, but everything is not relevant for them. So domain expert would know. When I say domain expert, it would be someone who is working with company or in that domain, retail banking since several years, would know what kind of data is important for me. And the third part is really the computer science programming, that how are you going to work or play with all of that data. So programming implementation is usually the computer science engineering, IT engineering side. This is all of people who are leading any kind of business, have done their MBAs, or just leading the businesses, startups, and statistics economics is really someone who has done the masters in economics or bachelor's in economics. So, and combine all these three and you get data science. So now,
Okay.
yeah, go on, Nikhil.
If somebody is a beginner into this area, so how should he start?
Sure. If you look at this chart, anyone who is beginner, if you have just completed your college, engineering, non-engineering, if you would want to move here, I would say focus on mathematics and statistics. Those fundamentals have to be very strong. You would need to work with a lot of mathematical concepts. So be very clear about it, that you would need to learn a lot of formulas, a lot of theories of mathematics. And once you build your foundation on that, you can go learn about programming languages like Python. It can be R, and there are several other programming languages. But programming language is nothing. It's just another language like English or Spanish or French to communicate with computer. That's all. French, Spanish, English is to communicate with people who doesn't know Hindi. And these programming languages are for computer because obviously they don't know our own language. So it's very simple. I mean, I would say it's simplest thing to learn about any programming language. Then once you're done with that, mathematics, some statistical concepts, how to interact with computer. You can learn about some advanced concepts like machine learning, visualization, how to create charts, how to create reports. And then there are some advanced concepts like big data and how to play with data. You got tables, you got numbers, you got text, you got audio, you got video. How do you play with that data? Learn what story that data is telling you. And then finally, you would have some understanding. Okay, now I know how to work with data. I know how to interact with computer. I know mathematical concepts. At that point of time, you can decide your domain, which we discussed on this slide, that which domain do I want to go to. But really, you need to first start with understanding mathematical fundamentals of data science. So there are multiple courses out there on Khan Academy, Udemy. Um, you can just go and start researching on Google, learn about those courses. It can be a short-term course. There are plenty of YouTube videos freely available. You don't need to pay anywhere. But if you want to have a professional course done, you can do masters. A masters in data science is freely, not freely, but widely available course across universities, IITs, IIMs, any other college is providing a master's in data science now. So you can opt for any PG diploma you can do. There are good certifications. Once you reach to this upper level, you can do specific certifications. about how to connect my work in cloud infrastructure, how to do some very specific AI modeling or machine learning modeling or deep learning modeling, things like that. But that all comes later. First, you need to start with your basics and see if you are really interested in this field or not. It's very lucrative. Job offers are great. You are going to learn way more than other stagnant fields like of computer science engineering or other core engineering. So money wise is great, but you need to really be sure that you do want to do it. And it's very powerful role. Imagine you are working with the executives of your company. You yourself would be an executive at some point of day. You are powering their decisions based on the data which is there. You are going to directly work with CEOs, CEOs, CIOs, CFOs to drive those decisions, or their vertical leads, vice president of innovation or growth or marketing. So that's amazing opportunity out there. I would say data science again, since data is there everywhere. If you are able to play with that data, if you are able to come up with a story, when I say story, it's basically to let people know who are not aware about that data, to let them know what your data tells you. This is what I do. I go to multiple companies, I take their data, analyze it, and go back to them and tell them that this is what is happening in your company, and they were actually thinking something else. They didn't know that. But when we tell them that this is what actually is happening in your company, then they make the better decisions, which eventually would help their company to grow. So this is how a powerful profile comes in builds in. So I think if that interests you, if that kind of profile is something which you are looking for, go for data science learning.